Hello, welcome everybody to Gamesoverplastic. This is episode number 22. We are back once again with the man, the myth, the legend, the man that was greatly missed, the master of Weebery, Sean Mason. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I apologize for missing last episode. I had just a family thing came up like last minute with my grandmother, so had to deal with that. But everything's good now. We're all set. Ready to be here. I was sad to miss the episode, but you guys did a great job. I listened to it Monday afternoon, and it was great, fantastic. Yeah, the only thing I have to say is that I am not an Xbox.
Okay. Well, there you go. Neither is Hodge. Like I said, I'm only an Xbox when I wear that one shirt because it has a screen on it, but it only plays Redfall. So
Oh, okay.
So make sure you play those games when they come over to PlayStation, Sean, that we were talking about.
Oh,
But we're happy to have you back. My cat's happy. Last, but of course not least, we have the master of graphics, the Bears fan, Hodge. How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm a Bears fan, so not great. But
the
we're
field goal's
recording this a
blocked!
little.
It's blocked. Packers win.
So we're recording this
Low.
early. So the last game that happened was the Bears getting their game-winning field goal blocked against the Packers, which is just typical Bears. But since this, when the episode comes out, they'll have also lost to the Vikings and Lions. So the Bears will be on a nice losing streak, I'm sure. But other than that, yeah, happy to be here. Happy to record. Happy to have Sean back. That Xbox episode was fun to talk about, but it's always good having the trio here. So I'm happy to everyone's here.
Yes, sir. Any day that Sean is with you is a better day, no doubt. Yeah, speaking of football, I'm a Steelers fan, and we just we lost to the Browns, the sorry Browns. I thought it was funny though that George Pickens, the Steelers wide receiver, even though we lost to the Browns, he was still talking shit. He put out like a quote or something. He's like, "I don't believe that the Cleveland Browns are a good football team at all." And I love the hatred and the pettiness in it because I also am a hater. So, and I don't think they're good either. They beat us, but it was a night game in Cleveland in a blizzard, and stuff happens. It was a close game. We're going to destroy them in 2 weeks in Pittsburgh. And I say we because I'm part of the team. I'm the number one fanboy. All right.
Yeah.
So, all right, boys. So this is Games Over Plastic, the podcast for the agnostic gamers. No console wars, just fun over here. Coming to you every other Monday on all audio podcast services, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, every cast. We also have amazing video versions at youtube.com/@gamesoverplastic, in which you can see our co-host Hodge's amazing artwork on every episode, not most of the time. Every episode, the artwork is phenomenal, so make sure you check that out. As always, if you're listening to the audio version and you want to see the video, just look in the description. We put a link right there for you. So convenient. Leave us 5-star ratings on audio platforms if you want. I know we have 8 5-star ratings on Spotify. Thank you for that, guys. If you guys haven't rated us yet, please do. Help us move up that algorithm just a little bit. Maybe we'll gain 1 or 2 new listeners, which would be cool. If you are on YouTube, please leave write-ins, comments, and everything down below. We read every single combat, every single comment. We interact with them. We love you. Leave us likes. Subscribe. We're trying to hit 100 subs on YouTube. I think we're at like 78. That's pretty cool. And yeah, just we appreciate you. Basically, we do this.
And
we don't. Yeah, go ahead.
If you leave a bad comment, we will challenge you to combat, which is why he said that. So
Yes, we will.
Of course. Yeah. Battle to the death. Battle to the death.
Battle
Exactly.
to the death. Die. Okay. But yeah,
that was me a couple weeks ago. Die.
But that's enough shilling. Thank you all. We love you. We do this for free. We don't make a cent. This podcast is not monetized. We just do it because we love games and we love you guys. So thank you. And with that said, why don't we get into some games? Let's go ahead and start with what we are playing. And let's go ahead and start with Sean. You were absent last week. What have you been up to, sir?
Oh, I've been playing just a couple games. I'm gonna start with Visions of Mana. I'm continuing my playthrough of that. I took a little break from it. just because of some things came up. I was very busy and I wasn't just in the mood to like sit down and game for like a long session. And that's what I like to do with my JRPGs is, have a longer session. But I'm loving it. I'm right at the end of the game. I know I am because there's only one story related chapter left. I mean, story related trophy left. The game's phenomenal. There are a lot of twists and turns when you get closer to the end of the game. Some of the abilities you get near the end of the game are absolutely insane. Like the amount of like animation going on in the screen in a real time combat game, like when it's going around, it's just crazy. It makes you like it's so colorful and it's really wild. Some of the enemies get really tough near the end of the game, and I didn't even realize I was playing on hard mode the entire time. I didn't even realize it. I randomly went into the settings like last night, and I'm like, I've been playing on hard mode the whole time, and so now like I had to grind a lot, and then I put it down to normal, and I'm like, yeah, I did not need to grind that much because now I'm just like destroying enemies like crazy. But overall, it's a great game. I really highly suggest it. It's even if you've never played a mana game, it's awesome. It's made me really interested to want to go back to the series. Um, Val is quickly becoming one of my favorite video game protagonists. Not of all time, but in that echelon, that top 10 tier. He's a great character, really funny. The only thing um, that I don't like about him, there's like one thing I don't like about him. He is so like he gets so lost in his head sometimes, and the other characters make note of it. They're like, "Why is Val so like lost? Like he doesn't feel like he's paying attention to us. What's going on here?" Karina, the one with a Texas accent, we brought that up last time.
Hey
She
y'all.
just continued, yeah, she continues to be hilarious. She's awesome, and her story arc so far has been my favorite. I'm not gonna spoil anything about it, but the evolution of her at the beginning to where she is now, I completed her entire like arc of all her side quests and stuff, and it's phenomenal. Really, really heartwarming. Good stuff. Yeah, Visions of Mana. Overall, it's great. There is a point in the game where you unlock like probably like maybe like halfway through the game you unlock like the equivalent to like the airship in like old Final Fantasy games when you can just fly around the entire map. You unlock like the equivalent to that in this game, and I'm just gonna say it is so funny what it is, and it is so anime, and I love it. Love it so much.
Is it the power of friendship or fighting gods? That's anime.
No, it's not. No, no, not that. Of course that is anime, but no, this is like very much like once you see it, you're gonna be like, wow, that is like so anime. It's pretty funny. It's actually really funny.
Okay.
Like for example, in the middle of there's another like a really anime section. You're in the middle of a boss fight, right? And all of a sudden, randomly, like a random thing falls from the sky and drills the boss and deals like 13,000 damage, and all the characters just go, "What the heck was that? What's going on?" And it's so funny because it's randomly in the middle of the boss fight, and like like the typical anime stuff, like the emotes and stuff come over their heads and stuff, and it's so funny. God, it was hilarious. I like died laughing when I saw it. It was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, I mean, I think the game looks great. I think one day I'll play it whenever I have time. That's the issue, though. Time. There's so many
No, I
games I
hear
want to
you.
play. I'm addicted to the concept of playing games. I'm always checking the stores. Like I have a wish list I've mentioned on Xbox, on PlayStation, and on Steam, and I check them almost daily for deals. And I can't wait to like find a game that's on my wish list that's on a good sale so that I can buy it, so that I can not play it for like a year and a half, if ever. Uh, it's that's my toxic trait. So
This game's good though because like if you like wanted to, like the side quests are not like required at all, and the main story is still good enough where like you can get a lot out of it. So that's cool, and the traveling is so easy. Like if you don't want to, like walking is kind of slow in this game. Like walking around the environment, they have like an option where you get these like essentially it's like the in the mana world is like their equivalent to like horses. It's like that equivalent. You can like ride around on them and stuff, and you can call them anytime, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Visions of Mana, I really really liked it. I really like it so far. I'll be done by next episode for sure. All
all
right.
right, what else you playing?
All right. Well, this one is why I originally stopped Visions of Mana at first because I really wanted to get through this game, and I did complete it. It's a rather shorter game on my list, and that is Mario and Luigi Brothership. This is the Mario and Luigi game on Switch. It's the first ever Mario and Luigi game released for like a home Nintendo console. That's probably mainly because they don't really have just a dedicated handheld anymore. And I have to say, um, I went in with really high expectations, and I kind of walk away a little disappointed. Now, granted, it's not bad. I There are some aspects that they absolutely nailed, like that the animation, the emote, like the emotion, the emotions, like the emotes of like the game and the animation is so good. They nailed that. Combat, they absolutely nailed. Like the addition of these like brothership moves, where Mario and Luigi are more interactive during combat. Like it's always been in these Mario and Luigi games where you have to press separate buttons, one to control Mario, one to control Luigi, and it's turn-based combat. But they added all these extra moves that really incorporate the brothers together, and that was awesome. Um, the thing, also this it does have random encounters in this game, which is it's not bad. I like random encounters, so that's not bad. But I know that's can sour a lot of people, especially now when people aren't used to it. But the combat's really good and the loading screens are really fast. The thing that really deteriorated this game is the writing is definitely a step down compared to previous Mario RPG games, where in previous Mario RPG games, they're hilarious. You want to talk to everybody because everyone has something funny to say. There's always something that they have to say. The writing is just always so good. The writing in this game is nowhere near the peak of these Mario RPG games. And there's a lot of bloat, especially when you get to like the middle of the game. They kind of drag things out a lot of backtracking, which isn't great. Um, the thing some more positives about the game though is that there's a couple different continents to explore, and the first one is rather small, so I kind of got like nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this going to be like a phoned in like Mario and Luigi game? But then when you get to the second, third, and fourth one, like they're huge and they're like ginormous, and there's like no load screens between them, so it's pretty cool. It's great. The plot's really good. I like the Mario and Luigi games. None of them they don't take place in the Mushroom Kingdom, so they're all in like different locations, and there's always unique villains. Like Bowser's usually in it, but he's never like the main villain, which is great. Um, in this one, you're basically just running around like a new world. You got sucked into like a new dimension, not dimension, but like a new world, and Mario and Luigi just plopped in there, and they have to essentially save the world to try to get back to the Mushroom Kingdom too. It's fun, it's good, but like I said, there's a little bloat with the writing. Combat's great, animations are great, enemy design's awesome because it's all so unique. And yeah, if you like Mario RPG games, you'll like this game. As in terms of how I would compare it to like the other Mario RPG games, this is definitely not as good as like the peak three or like those first three that came out, which is Superstar Saga, Dream Team. I mean, Partners in Time and Bowser's Inside Story. It's definitely not at that level, but I think it's a solid number 4 in the list of my Mario and Luigi RPG rankings. But yeah, so I liked it. It wasn't that long though. It was only like I 100%ed it, and it only took me 14 hours to 100% it, and I talked to almost every NPC in the game. Usually Mario and Luigi games are about 20 to 25 hours to 100%. If you were to just mainline this game, you could probably do it in 6 or 7 hours. It's a lot easier than other Mario RPG games too. I found the difficulty not nowhere near as difficult. Like I remember Superstar Saga when that first came out. People like that was like a really challenging game. Same thing with Inside Story.
So this was kind of like the Miles Morales of the Mario RPGs.
I mean
It's not a
it's
bad
not
thing.
designed
Miles
to like
Morales was good.
Oh no, I think Miles Morales is great, but it's not. They didn't market it like it was like a smaller standalone game like they did for Miles. Like this is a full price game, and it's supposed to be like the next big entry in the series. But overall, I liked it, but I was a little disappointed with it.
All right, fair enough.
I do remember seeing the ratings weren't great. It was averaging like around a 6 or 7 from most people, kind of thing.
I would like. I mean, I don't score games, but I think I think a 5 out of 10 is really harsh for this game. Like I saw IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. If I had to put a score on it, probably between like a 7.75 and an 8, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Whereas
Like it.
the other games in the series, where the other games, like the first 3 games in the series, are all 9 to 10s in my book, and the only one that Dream Team's probably like a 7.5. Paper Jam, I don't talk about. That game doesn't exist.
All right, good stuff. How'd you have any thoughts on those games before we move on?
No, the Brothership looked good, but after seeing kind of the reviews, I was like, maybe if it's ever when Nintendo discounts it in 25 years, maybe I'll give it a look. But
Oh, the
for
value will
now,
go up in 25 years.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Probably will, yeah. All right, let me
Yeah.
go ahead and get into what I'm playing now. So first of all, I did save this, like I said in our last episode. I saved this for Sean because this is a Sean game. I did finally beat 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, or whatever, from Vanillaware and Atlas. This awesome Weebish game. I beat the game. I thought it was quite good, Sean. I did enjoy it. I love the story. The story is phenomenal. It's super deep. It's super intricate. It's very smart writing. Like they definitely they put in some good effort putting this together because they had to weave 13 actually probably even more than 13 because there's some side characters that are prominent, intricate little stories into one narrative that comes together and makes sense, with some twists and turns along the way. I mentioned that I was kind of halfway on. I mentioned you in that message about how I didn't think it was really, that one thing going on. We're not going to spoil anything here. And I was right, but I was wrong about the way it was happening. I didn't see the one aspect, which I thought was really cool. Again, no spoilers, but I thought this was cool. And Sean, not only did I beat this game, my friend, not only did I beat this game, but I got the platinum trophy.
Oh, there
That's
you
right.
go.
That's
Let's
right. I got the
go.
platinum. That's just platinum number 4 for me, by the way. For
Woo!
those scoring at home, I'm very proud, very proud. My first ever platinum game was, of course, the best PlayStation game ever, Ghost of Tsushima. Had to do it. And I don't even remember what number 2 was. So we're gonna kill the list there. But anyway, so I beat 13 Sentinels. I platinumed it. It's not a super hard platinum. You just have to beat the game, and then do a little bit of side stuff, like a little bit of cleanup. You got to S rank all the stuff, and you got to unlock all the mystery files. It requires like an extra 30 minutes to an hour of like work, but it's not hard at all. I would recommend this game for people. Like I mentioned before, if you're into reading, because this is a visual novel, this game is reading. It is cool. One thing that I like about it is that you can turn on the auto whatever, so you don't have to constantly hit like the X button or whatever. And you can adjust the speed in which it reads too, because I read a little bit faster than I don't know.
Look
I
at
read
you.
I read semi fast. Not a speed reader. I wish I was, but anyway, I like it. I liked every character. You asked me who my favorite character was. I don't know if I have one. I really loved all of them. The dude who loved the yakisoba bread, the dude who loved that was pretty funny. Remember him with the long hair, kind of.
Yep.
He was funny, and then I still do like the Kisaragi girl, just because she was just like super wholesome. But I like all the characters. There was none of them that I was like, this character sucks. All of them had their reasons for what they were doing. Even the ones that were kind of like the antagonist, I understood and didn't hate them. But yeah, so that's 13 Sentinels. Sean, what do you think?
Oh, I think I'm so glad you played it. It is a really great game, and I echo what you said that it's definitely like a reading heavy game, and it's much more of a visual novel than any other. I know they market it as like a real time strategy game where it's 2D with 2D side scrolling elements, but it's definitely not that. It's definitely a visual novel. The ending is absolutely crazy. Like the way that they can meld all 13 characters to fit into like one congruent ending is awesome. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously no spoilers about it, but what was your like? Were you shocked? Were you surprised at all?
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I didn't see the one aspect, which is kind of like a famous movie type aspect. You know what I'm saying? Of
Yep.
this, yeah. So I was a little surprised, but at the same time, I knew that they weren't. Well, this kind of spoiling, but I already kind of said I knew that they weren't really time traveling though. The thing that kind of gave it away to me was they were referring to it as sectors instead of years, and I was like, that's a little weird. Like, why are they saying that they're going to teleport to Sector 4 instead of saying to 1985 or whatever? You know what I mean? I'm like, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of made me think like maybe these are just separate cities that are designed to look like different years. You know what I mean? But that's not even 100% right. No spoilers. Like there's additional layers. Like this is a deep game. It's really good. I thought the combat was kind of mid, kind of ass. The combat is just like a side thing. Like you're basically just looking at like a 2D screen, and you're controlling dots and you're blowing up like bigger dots. It's kind of stupid, but it's okay. It was all right to break up the visual novel aspects, but it wasn't anything great. And my one critique of this game is that I love the story, but I wasn't the most fan of how they told the story. How it's just completely freestyle. Like you can just go into each character in any order you want. I almost think maybe it would be better if it was more of a linear, where like they just had each chapter set up where it would switch between the characters, but like they just did it themselves and it was like congruent, you know?
Yeah, that's what in you had mentioned like the more linear structure in Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie. They swap between 3 protagonists in that game, and they are linear based. So it's like you complete one chapter, then it swaps to another character and stuff like that. I do want to shout out Ogata. He's my favorite character from 13 Sentinels. Absolutely love him. He's the man. But yeah,
that was the dude with the pompadour, right?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, he was funny, man. He was funny. He's always fighting those dudes every time. He couldn't help it. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Every character was great. And he was the romance for one of my favorite characters, Kisaragi. Those two hooked up, I'm pretty sure. There you go. They were a good couple. Yeah, I like them both. Yeah, this game, it does have romance. I'm a romance bro. I like romance. But it's romance in a different way because you're not controlling like your own character, right? Instead, you're just experiencing the lives of these 13 people. And, they have their romance there. Sean, you look kind of frozen on my screen. Are you still with me? No, you're still frozen. We hear you, though. So, I don't know. Oh, well. Should we pause it or should we just keep it moving? We're back. Technical hurdles are fun. But yeah, so that was 13 Sentinels. If I have to grade this game, I think I'd give it a 7.5, maybe an 8. I don't know. Like I said, it's a visual novel, and that's not my number one thing, but awesome story. I do recommend it. Check it out if you're into sci-fi stuff and cool stories, or if you're a weeb, you'll like it. The next game that I'm playing, I'm going to keep this real short because I've already talked about it twice. I am still playing Dragon Age, the Veilguard. I love this game. I think this is an awesome game. Yeah, I'm 41 hours in. I'm level 40. The story is good to great. The graphics and the combat are phenomenal. I'm really enjoying this game. It does not deserve the hate. The trans stuff is stupid and forced, but it's a very, very small aspect of the game. And even the trans character, Tosh, I really like her. She's an awesome character, except for the stupid, like, oh, I'm non-binary that they decided to force in there. And that's it. Like I said, I'll have more thoughts on this when I actually beat the game. We're not going to beat this dead horse. I've talked about it enough. I don't think you guys don't have any thoughts on that game, I don't think. So, Hodge, what are you playing, sir? What's going on with you?
Yeah, so nothing new with me. I'm still playing through Death Stranding. I'm not that far because I've been obsessed with Black Ops 6, which is the other game I'm playing. So I just beat Port Knot City, which is kind of the first big area of... I finished the first big area of the country, so I'll be heading across the way to go to the next area soon. But other than that, yeah, nothing really to add. I'm still loving it. I adore that game so fucking much. Like I've said a million times, it's a therapeutic game because it's just so chill, but the story is so intriguing. The entire world is it's just, I love it. But yeah, I don't have much to add to it. It's just the same as glowing review as it was before. But Black Ops 6, I'm still playing through. It's just a fun get off work and get destroyed by nerds who don't stop playing kind of game. And it's just a whole lot of fun, and I'm enjoying that. But I just got, if you were watching the video version, I got my 30th anniversary PlayStation 5 and the Portal, which for people who know me, I was shit talking the Portal. I mean, it's not that I didn't think it was a cool product or anything, but I thought $200 for a streaming only device is really stupid. It just seemed so overpriced. But then, of course, my monkey brain went ooga booga when they announced the 30th anniversary version of it. So I bought it, and I've been playing Vampire Survivors on it just because it's such a good little mobile handheld game. And my cousin who I'm living with right now, his consoles are just hardwired into the internet, so which is how people say is like the best way to play the Portal, like that just boosts the signal. Mine is in the other room on the wired or wireless internet, and it's a little slower. Sometimes I skip, but the Portal's still playing very well, even despite that. So I'm actually very impressed with how well it connects to it. It's not perfect. Sometimes it does get a little choppy, especially once in Vampire Survivors when you get into the later levels and it's just a boat. You're just being bow guarded by 1,000 enemies at the same time. So it will get a little choppy there. Frames will drop a little bit, but it's definitely not bad. So once I do have my own apartment next month, it'll be really nice to hardwire it because I know my apartment, they confirmed that they have fiber internet now. So I'll be hardwiring my PlayStation and it'll be flawless. But overall, obviously Vampire Survivors is a great game. So I more so wanted to talk about the consoles because I forgot how much smaller the refresh of the PS5 is compared to the launch PS5. It is like it's night and day how big the size is. But then obviously the PlayStation 1 branding on it is beautiful. I'm so happy I bought this thing. I'm going to sell my other PS5 today. Go to the store and buy it. And I might be selling my Raj Ally too, just because I don't play it anymore. And I figured with Xbox saying that in a few years there'll be an Xbox handheld. That's why I got the Ally in the first place, was to play Game Pass games on the go. So when that launches, I'll probably look into that. But for now, I don't need it, so I'm going to sell them. But yeah, this PS5, the PlayStation 1 branding, the controller is beautiful. It looks so much better than I thought it was going to. Like in the photo looked great, but holding it, it's a gorgeous controller. I'm kind of actually bummed I didn't get the Elite. I did buy not the Elite, the Edge. I did buy one, but one of our buddies didn't get one at pre-order, so he was kind of bummed. So I just sold it to him. I didn't need it. But I at the same time, I'm like, I kind of wish I had kept it because they are fucking beautiful. But I might get an Edge eventually. But for now, I'm loving just the branding of the 30th anniversary stuff, and it's gorgeous. But yeah, I'm excited to play other games on the Portal because the screen is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like it is. You look like you're kind of looking at a TV in your hand. It's a gorgeous device, and with them adding the beta for just streaming games to it, I'm very excited for that. So I actually feel like I did make a good investment by buying this thing because it's obvious they're only going to add to it. So who knows, maybe eventually they'll let you just stream your library and stuff like that rather than just PS Plus games. And hopefully they just keep improving it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my time with the Portal. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything to say about any of those games or either device.
I was gonna ask about the Portal. Does it feel weird having like just like a giant screen between like the basically the DualSense?
No, it just feels like you're holding a controller basically. Obviously your hands are a little wider and then you're looking at a screen, so it feels like you're playing a Switch or an Ally. Like
Okay.
it just feels like you're playing a Switch with a PlayStation controller. It's really nice. I still do think it's a little overpriced, especially this one. I think it was $20 more just because it was the 30th anniversary one. And so as of right now, what it does, it still seems a little overpriced, but I am loving it for what it is. And yeah, I'm just a whore for the PlayStation 1, so I bought the the 30th anniversary stuff because I wanted it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Portal. It feels very comfortable, and like to the place, obviously since there's no center of the controller, there's no touchpad and all that, the PlayStation button is on the left side and then the microphone button is on the right side, like just kind of in the corner right by the screen. So that's how you get to it. And yeah, it's laid out really well, it runs really well. And so yeah, I'm enjoying the Portal and I'm happy that I got it, and I'm happy they're gonna keep improving it.
Right on.
Here's my prediction. 20 2026. No, 2030. 2030. I apologize. 2030. We're going to see the big 30th anniversary for the PS2. And it's going to be a PS6 console. I can already see it.
Ooh, I could see that. Yeah.
And they're going to bring, and it's going to be, I just have a feeling. I got a feeling.
Yeah, it's the same with how Xbox is already talking about next gen. If they don't do a 25 anniversary in 2026 with the original Xbox and original Halo, they're just throwing money away by not doing that because
and the Duke controller and the giant Duke controller.
Yeah, like
I know they re-released it, but still.
Yeah, I think it was an unofficial controller, but yeah, they really do need to do something for that. Like cuz the PlayStation 1 it's a beautiful like design for the PS5, and I think the PS5 is hideous, but the PS5 PS1 version, 30th version it's gorgeous. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, good stuff. I think the Portal is cool. I was a little disappointed that they didn't have the streaming, but now it seems they're adding that, so that's smart. That gives it a lot more value. And I was also disappointed that for some reason they didn't have Bluetooth. I thought that's dumb how they're like trying to lock it down to their little. You have to use their two headsets, but I think it's a cool device for sure.
Yeah, I think the heads. I'm justifying something that doesn't need to be, that they don't deserve to have justified, but I think it's just because Bluetooth would kill the battery quicker. It was the same with the Switch, how it didn't have Bluetooth. I think it just kills the battery, and they would need to keep it alive as long as they can. So they only have wired controllers. But you can also, I know it has a button on it to connect like the actual PlayStation official one. So I'm guessing it's just a different connection type. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not a tech person, so who knows? It does kind of suck, but at the same time, I'm not using headphones right now anyway. I'm just playing on my couch while I watch TV, so I don't really need the headset. But yeah, overall, it's a cool device.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, 1 second here. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and get into the write-ins. We got a couple write-ins, and these are adjacent to our main topic of discussion. I solicited these write-ins here. Our topic today is going to be 3 games each that are beloved games or franchises that we personally weren't feeling. We didn't like. We are not fans of. So I got 2 write-ins here that are adjacent to that, and I'll read the first one, and we'll have Sean read the second one. The first one was from our friend Zach from the Discord, and his take is, he says, Red Dead 2 is not fun to play. None of the Rockstar games are. People are fooling themselves, and I feel like I'm going crazy. So Red Dead 2 sucks. It's not fun, according to Zach. What say you guys, huh?
All right, Zach, I love you, man. I've known you for almost 5 years now. Going back to, early 2020. I met you probably in like February 2020. And honestly, this is probably the worst take I've ever heard you say. This is like an awful, awful take. And like I said, man, you're a great person. Love you. But dude, Rockstar games are freaking amazing. Like, and this is coming from someone who just played Red Dead 1 this year and still haven't played Red Dead 2. But just go back and play GTA 4 and even GTA 5. I know people don't like it. I love GTA 5.
I like it.
Dude, those games are so much fun to play. Just driving around the city and just doing whatever the heck you want, going in a blimp, going really high up, and just jumping out of it with a parachute. That is so fun. Getting any car, the variety of environments in these Rockstar games, and just running around the world. It is so the world is so alive that it's so much fun. There's always something to do. Objectively, Rockstar games are amazing, and they're so much fun to play. It's not subjective. It's objective. It's a straight up fact. It's not an opinion. Just look at the numbers. GTA Online. Do it.
Dang. Okay. What say you, Hodge? Any thoughts on this?
I'll talk
Rockstar
about it later.
sucks. Red Dead sucks. He's going to talk about it later. Okay. I will say this. First of all, I'm going to hit you with a partial stand down, but then I'm also going to support you a little bit. So Rockstar Games is awesome. All the GTA games are fantastic and super fun to play and awesome games. And Red Dead Redemption 1 is fantastic and awesome and fun to play. I will somewhat agree with you about Red Dead Redemption 2. Not from the aspect that it's not good, because it's a great game, but from the fun aspect. I think in Red Dead Redemption 2, they hyper focused on the realism and the story. The story is phenomenal, and the realism and graphics are insane, but the fun factor, I dropped the game 2-3 times myself and had to go back to it. Because it's very long running. It feels super long, and there's long travel times. Like the combat is like there's like never ending like monster closets. Basically, like there'll be a cabin and somehow like 150 like enemies will come out of this cabin and you'll be gunning them down. It's not, in my opinion, it's not the most fun to play. It's not horrible, don't get me wrong, but Red Dead Redemption 1 is a better game in my opinion. But the narrative was insane and the graphics are insane. So I'll somewhat support you, Zach, but for the most part we're going to have to hit you with a calm down on that one. Yeah.
How can you say you cannot say GTA games are not fun to play?
Oh, they're awesome.
Like,
I can't wait for 6.
Oh my god, I'm taking the day off. Already, I don't care when it comes. I'm taking the day off from work. Hopefully, it comes out in the summer. Then I won't have to take the day off.
Your kids will take the day off too. They'll all be sick.
Probably. They're all hyped for it.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into our next write-in. Sean, you want to read this one?
Yes. Hang on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Doing a little timestamp stuff. All right. So for our next write-in from our good friend Meatball, he says, likely my hottest gaming take. Firm software games are overrated, and I'd argue in certain ways detrimental to the creativity of the video game industry. The sheer popularity of games like Dark Souls, Sekiro, yeah, and Elden Ring have caused countless developers to chase a trend or copy and paste a similar formula instead of focusing on creating something holistically new. I would argue that I somewhat agree with you. I love firm software games, so I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, yeah, firm software games are terrible. But I think people chasing other games that are popular has been happening forever. I mean, we see it all the time, and I think there's a cycle of it happening every 5 to 6 years where you get a span of games coming out 5 years later after a game, trying to chase what the game that came out 5 years ago is. Look at all the Breath of the Wild games we have now that are coming out in the 2020, 21, 22, 23, around there. That Breath of the Wild was a 2017 game. Look at all the live games like Fortnite, like Battle Royale. People are still trying to chase that, and that was 2017. So I don't know. I would say that detrimental to creativity, I would not agree with, because I think that's the nature of video games. Everyone's trying to chase something, be similar to that. As far as overrated FromSoft games, I don't think they're overrated. No, I mean, I like them, but yeah, I don't think they're overrated.
All right. Well, what about you, Hodge? Any thoughts on FromSoft is overrated?
I was actually thinking of including this on my list of 3 overrated things, but I have only played 2 Souls likes, and they were both briefly, so it's not that. I don't consider something like I don't like that's beloved. It's just something that didn't click with me, and then I never put that much more effort into it. So it's kind of I agree, but at the same time, it's out of just not playing them that I'm agreeing, because it just doesn't click for me. So I kind of agree, but like you guys said, other companies just trying to copy it. Like the amount of every time we watch a state of play or one of those presentations, there's 5 fucking Souls likes in a row, and you're like, another one, really? We're another Souls like is really
another one.
It's like one. And then another one. Yeah, and so it's for that I do agree, but at the same time I can't say Elden Ring's just I don't get why people. I've never played Elden Ring, so I can't come out saying why would anyone like Elden Ring? It's not good. I have no idea if it is, because I have already given up on Souls-like games, and it's not even that that they don't click with me. I just fucking suck at video games, so I just don't want to die for 3. I played the Liza P demo because that setting is so cool. I loved it. Just the setting itself made me want to play it so badly. And then the first, not even boss, mini boss I came across just murdered me right away. And I'm like, okay, I guess this game's not for me. I'm not gonna play this. So it's just a genre that it whooped my ass too much that it's really not like I don't like it. It's like it doesn't like me. So so that's kind of where I stand with those games.
Yeah, shout out to Timothy Chalamet though. He was great in that game.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
really
so
do want to play it though, and it sucks because I got my ass whipped, but it looks so fucking cool, and I want to play it, but I can't.
yeah, Meatball, I respect it, man. I always respect some good hating, some good hating. You got to get it off your chest sometimes. It's good, Can't always be positive. This podcast is about positivity, but sometimes you got to let the hate seep in, I will agree that it is a little bit annoying that all these developers now are just copying the formula. Like Hodge said, you'll see 3-4 games at a showcase that they all kind of look the same. They all got that same kind of boss looking combat. They got the 4 icons in the bottom left. You got to like dodge a little bit. Ooh, you got to dodge and parry or something. It's like, yeah, they all kind of look similar. I will say that Elden Ring was a masterpiece. But that's the only Souls game that I've ever played, really. But I'll also say here, and this is my take, is that DLC does not belong at the Game Awards for Game of the Year. So screw you, Shadows of the Erdtree. You don't belong, in my opinion. But with that said, since they did include you, I'm hoping that it wins. I want the chaos. Let the chaos reign. I want to see all these developers who made actual full games get mad and complain because they lost to a DLC. I want to see the chaos, but it doesn't belong at all. What do you guys think about that real quick? We'll move on. You agree?
I couldn't care less about Jeff Keighley's fake Game Awards.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of happy that he kind of auctioneers his way through the awards. Where he's like, best streamer, it's FaZe, best streamer's girlfriend, FaZe's girlfriend. Like, I like that he just kind of goes through them like that, like because I genuinely watch it as if it's a showcase where they're going to show off games. That's what I think of when I watch the Game Awards. It's cool when they do the Game of the Year where they do the orchestra playing all the songs. That's really fucking cool. But the award itself, I can't pretend to care.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, best artwork, blah blah blah, best soundtrack, blah blah blah. All right, guys, we're in a hurry. Okay, let's watch this 10-minute Logitech ad. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Well, this year we're gonna get a bunch of Amazon Prime games or Prime ads because I guess they're sponsoring it.
Yeah. Shout out to Prime. I like Prime. Love Prime.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Shout out to that Concord anime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let's get into our main topic of discussion. Great segue. Shout out to Zach and Meatball, and shout out to you, the listener. Leave us a like. Haha. All right. So we're going to talk about 3 games that we don't like that are popular. The order is going to be Midnight, Hodge, Sean. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off here with my number 3 games. These aren't necessarily like in super order, but we ordered them because that's what we do. My number 3 game, I am pulling up the list right now because I can't remember it, is going to be... It's okay, so it's like 2 games in one, but I guess I'll mainly pick one. It's freaking survival games. So I put down Ark and I put Grounded. These games are popular, like Ark games, very popular, and these types of things. I hate these survival games. They're so obtuse. They piss me off. Like, I don't want to get in there. There's very little direction. They barely tell you what to do. You got to go fight a bunch of stupid bugs, and you got to craft a freaking... Like, you start with nothing and you have to like try to craft, kind of like Minecraft too. I don't like that either, but you have to like craft a freaking axe, and then you have to chop down stuff, and you're starving and you're getting sick and you're dying and you're weak. And I don't like it at all. The only good thing that ever came from Ark is I played it briefly with my brother. My brother really liked this game, and he bought it for me. He's like, you got to play this game with me. And I have 2 vivid memories from Ark, and they were both of him like getting owned, and it was hilarious. The one time he got finessed out of all of his gear in Ark. Some dude walks up to him like he's in his encampment, and the guy invites him to his guild or whatever. And my brother accepted because he was like kind of a newish player and he didn't know. So once he accepted and joined the guild, apparently this gave the other player permission to open his storage chest, and the guy opened my brother's storage chest and took everything, robbed him completely blind, just finessed him and took everything, and then kicked him from the guild and left. And I thought that was hilarious. Like, it was screwed up, but it was funny. Like, he got finessed in Ark. And then The second memory, I actually played with him, and we're like, all right, we're gonna set up this camp on like this little bay. You got the water, it's nice, and we're trying to build a little fort. We're getting attacked by like these freaking swans or something. Some kind of flying birds just keep attacking us nonstop. Like literally, they would not stop. We couldn't kill them. We had like no weapons. If we did manage to kill one, they just kept coming and coming and coming, and it was so annoying. They kept killing us. And then somehow my brother got like some kind of sickness, and some random player came over and locked him in a cage because he had some kind of illness, and like just left. So my brother was locked in a cage and he couldn't get out, and I couldn't free him, and it was hilarious. Like he was getting taken advantage of in Ark. But screw those games. I don't like them. I don't like the lack of direction. I don't like the difficulty. I don't like how obtuse it is. Screw you, Ark. You guys have any thoughts on these? Have you played any of these?
Never played it, but my only memory of Ark is Ark, the one with the dinosaurs in it. That's all I remember. The one with the dinosaurs. I think it's called Ark Survivor, like
Mhm.
Evolved or something. It came out. Someone was playing it on who lived on my floor my senior year of college, and I'll never forget like walking. The second I walked in, his door open. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I walked in his room. He got eaten by a dinosaur, like straight up, just came, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex just came down and chomped him. And then I was like, "Oh, that's alarming." Then I walked out.
See, that's funny. Maybe that's what makes these games special is just the funny, awkward memories like that, like the ones I had with my brother. But the gameplay itself sucks. Hodge, any thoughts on this?
Well, really quickly with that, I feel like it's kind of the same with Helldivers too. It's the game is fun. It's an amazing game, but the best parts are watching your friends get owned and just laughing at it. That's the best part. But
Yeah.
as for survival games, I don't know if it's the same as like State of Decay or whatever. I've never liked the type of games where you're kind of in a live server building shit, because if you don't log in, your shit gets destroyed, and it's like I want my game to pause when I turn it off. I don't want it perpetually. It's not a Tamagotchi where I have to go out of my way to fucking save it every day. Like, it should be when I close out of a game, my stuff is there the next time I log in. So I've always hated that about those kinds of games. But you reminded me of when I played Fallout 4. Your story about your brother reminded me. There's like a cult that's like around Boston or whatever, and I remember walking up to him, and I thought I was gonna like trick him by like saying yes to everything and join, but no, I just accidentally joined the cult and they stole all my shit. So I was like, fuck. So I restarted my save point, and then I went in and murdered them all instead, because I was like, I thought I'd be like, yes, I want to join, like so I could get like in and trick them, but no, they just stole all my shit. So I restarted the save point.
Dude, that was so funny when he got finessed because I was living with him at the time. Like I had got laid off. And like he was getting so mad. He was like, no, stop. He's taking my stuff. What the fuck? It was hilarious, dude. Just got robbed. It's funny, dude. I love my brother, but this isn't serious. It's just video games. So I had a good laugh at his expense there. And we laugh about it to this day now after the fact. He laughs too.
Yeah.
Hodge, what's your number 3?
I'm just gonna go since I hinted at it earlier. I think the Grand Theft. I don't like the Grand Theft Auto games. I never have. I only played Grand Theft Auto 3, and I only liked it because it was like the first open world ever, and so I thought that was really cool being able to go around an open world, even though now the map is tiny compared to the rest of games today. But it's never appealed to me. I don't know if it's my personality. I don't like running around as a criminal and beating up hookers. I don't know what it is, but I've never cared for any of the stories. I've never liked any of the characters. The worlds I've never cared for. Driving around listening to music was always fun, but I've tried multiple times to play Grand Theft Auto games, and they've never appealed to me. I just don't care. And going with that, since it's kind of the same, I was gonna say Rockstar as a whole, but I love Red Dead Redemption 1. It's one of the best
so good
games ever made. And Undead Redemption is the greatest expansion ever made. So I can't shit on Rockstar as a whole because I love that game, but I didn't like Red Dead Redemption 2. As I might have said it on the show before, but if they ever do release a next gen patch where it's 60 FPS and ray trace, whatever they need to do to put it on next gen, I will try it again, because it's not that I fell off of Red Dead 2 because I didn't like the game. Even though you were right, it's not that fun because you have to do other shit that's like, I don't want to clean my horse and shave my beard. I don't want to do that. That's not fun. But the story, from what I've heard, it's amazing, obviously. So I really want to play the story, but the gameplay is what turned me off. And then the reason I dropped the game, I think I've told this before, but I had to go from a camp to some place to do a mission. And you do the scenic, like, conversational carriage ride or whatever. And it was literally like a 10-minute ride. And it crashed 3 times in a row once I approached it. So I did the ride 3 times. And on the 3rd crash, I was like, fuck it, I'm done with this game. It's busted for me. I don't know why, because it didn't happen with everyone at launch. I bought the game at launch, and so that kept happening. I was like, fuck it, I'm done with it. And so now at this point, I don't want to play a 30 FPS game, so I'm waiting for a patch for it to unlock the frame rates or just have a 60 FPS mode, and I'll go back and try it. But as of right now, I couldn't do it. I fell off Red Dead Redemption 2. And yeah, I've just never cared for GTA. So it was always Red Dead Redemption was like the only Rockstar game I've ever been like, ooh, I guess I do kind of like Rockstar, even though I've only liked one of their games. So yeah.
Yeah, so here, let me get my bars off and then we'll pass it to Sean because he's next anyway. It'll be more synergistic. So I think you're wrong. GTA is awesome, but I respect it. Do you like 80s music, 80s vibes? Are you into that? Is that your thing?
Yeah, I know.
You're not as old as me.
People have told me I'd like Vice City. At that point, I had fallen off of GTA, so I just
the reason why I mentioned this is because I don't know if you saw, but they just released an update for the Legendary. Remember the definitive edition games that came out that were a mess? Well, they just released a big update just like last week or 2 weeks ago, which fixed a bunch of stuff and made the visuals and the lighting significantly better. And now is probably the best time ever to go back and play the Vice City definitive edition because it looks quite good, and it's an awesome story with great music and 80s vibes. And I think you would like it if you played it. But fair enough.
It's one of those if I ever do see that trilogy, like, obviously the Black Friday sales are starting. And so if it's ever like one of those things where I see the trilogy for $20-$30, I might go in and try it and give it a shot. But it's just, as a kid, I never wanted to. I don't know if it's just the kid in me. I like playing goofy platformers more than murdering people. I don't know, but they never stuck out to me as a kid. And by the time 5 came out, I'm one of like the 6 people in the world who haven't bought GTA 5 because it's sold 7.2 quintillion fucking copies at this point. So I'm one of the 6 people who has yet to play it, but just because I just don't care about GTA anymore, or I'd never gave a shit, so I just never played it. But
what say you, Sean, and then get into your 3.
All right, so for those watching the video, I had to step away for a second because I had to go throw up after I'm hearing the slander thrown at GTA in this episode. First Zach and now Hodge. I cannot believe that you don't find GTA games fun. Like, they are so and even if you don't want to do all the murder stuff, look at all the mini games you do. You don't want to go play darts with Roman. You don't go golfing with Franklin and calling up Trevor and say, "Hey, let's go hang out and go golfing and let's go ride jet skis." No, there's so much to do in these GTA games. I find them so much fun. Even just like when you're bored, just driving around the city and just like, I'm gonna go try to rob the airport, steal one of the the giant jets and go fly away and see if I can get away with it. There's just so much to do in the games. I love them. I love playing all the little mini games in them too. Like, I play them all. Like, I remember in GTA 5 they had, like I said, they had golfing, they had bowling, which was in GTA 4 as well. They had, like, you could ride jet skis. There was like little race courses you could go around and race. There's just so much to do. I love doing it all. Hodge, I'm sorry that you don't like them. I apologize that you don't understand the greatness that is the Grand Theft Auto series. And this is coming from someone who's only played 4 and 5. Like, I have never gone back and played the old ones, which I plan on going to. But yeah, GTA, I love. Yeah,
I'll just real quick put a bow on this. GTA is not about killing hookers. It's not about killing people. It's about it's about a good story and a sandbox. You can do whatever you want in the city. You can steal cars. You can steal planes. You can do all kinds of hijinks. You got the mini games. You got the music. You can do whatever. It's awesome. Sean, take it away, sir. What's your number 3?
All right, I'm gonna make some people angry with this one, but my number 3 is the Telltale games in general, just like overall the entire Telltale series. I cannot stand these games. From a visual aspect, I feel like my eyes are bleeding when I look at them. Like especially those like Walking Dead games. I'm like like crying tears of blood are coming out of my eyes just from looking at this. Like it is so janky. One, the frame rate is horrendous, and this is coming from someone who didn't understand what frame rate was when these Walking Dead games first came out and the Wolf Among Us came out. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, why does this look like I'm watching a stop animated film right now? The game's crashed like a million times and 9,000 bugs. And this is coming from someone who likes Bethesda games, Bugthesda. But these games, and the narratives are not like, I'm like, guys, you're making choices. They don't mean anything. It all ends up being the same thing. And then,
That's
then they release this. No, I don't know. Maybe it is. And then they release a sequel. They release like a subsequent sequels. And like then some choices your playthrough could be considered non-canon now. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. And then we have the release schedule of these games. Oh, we're gonna release one now. 6 months later, we're gonna release episode 2. Oh, and 2 weeks later, we'll do episode 3, and then another year, we'll do episode 4. Gosh, what is wrong with these Telltale games? And the only Telltale games that I actually enjoyed was Back to the Future, and I made myself enjoy them because it was Back to the Future. But yeah, Telltale games, cannot stand them. I remember I had to watch my sister play through what I don't even know, the 2012 game. Isn't that one game of the year or something? Walking Dead season, I don't even know. I remember her watching her play that. Yeah, watching her play that over the summer of 2012 and being like, oh my gosh, I just want to go play whatever Tales game I was playing at the time. But yeah.
All right.
Awful
All
game.
right. Hodge, any thoughts on that?
I'm not going to completely disagree with you because especially those games I think they fell off. I loved the first season, but I didn't play it until it was completed because I agree it was so stupid that they'd be 5 episodes long and they'd release them like every 3-4 months. And it's like, by that point, I've already forgotten what happened in the previous episode, and I'm not about to go back and replay it because your choices matter throughout the season, at least, maybe not following seasons, but I liked the first season. I thought it had a great story. As for the art style, I completely disagree about that. It's meant to look like the comic book, which it does, and it succeeds at that. I liked the first season, and I like the look of it, but Telltale Games did eventually get worse and worse and worse, which is obviously why their studio eventually shut down because I remember I played the first episode of the Batman one, and I was like, this is fucking terrible, and I just stopped playing it. I always wanted to play Wolf Among Us. I just never got around to it. I played the first episode of that one as well, but I just never finished it. But what?
Did you guys? Among Us, that game looks awful. Looks so bad.
But yeah, so I ended up falling off Telltale. So I agree, but I disagree. I liked the first season. I thought it was a very good story, and I enjoyed my time with it. But yeah, that's what this episode's about. Just liking things people like. So I'm not gonna hate you for it.
That's right. This is the haters' ball. This episode.
Yeah.
All right. Did you guys play the Telltale Game of Thrones one? That was pretty decent. Although I hate that they never had a part 2 because there was no payoff.
Oh yeah, I never bothered because it just didn't look very good, and I was tired.
I love Game of Thrones
by that time. Well, I liked Game of Thrones, but I was just tired of Telltale at that time. So I was like, I think I have it because it might have been a Games with Gold or some shit. But it's
no point in playing it now because there was never a part 2, so there's no payoff. All right. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. I respect it, Sean. I respect it. All right. My number 2. This is going to come as no surprise. It's going to be Fortnite. I hate you. I hate Fortnite. Fortnite is trash. This game is garbage. I wish it would die. I remember when this game came out in 2017 or whatever, and literally it was the only thing anyone was ever talking about and only thing anyone was ever playing. And I was like, I cannot wait for this game to die. I was like, in a year from now or whatever, nobody's going to be playing this trash. And here we are in 2014, like 7 years later or whatever. Motherfuckers are still playing this game nonstop. You got stupid ass kids doing like the floss dance and stuff. You just want to punch them in the face. The only time I've ever wanted to punch a kid is when you see these Fortnite kids, man. I just hate it. I hate what it's done to the industry, which will be a topic we'll get to later with the monetization and the battle pass and everything. It's stupid. The game sucks. The graphics sucks. Building a condominium sucks. And I even tried the no build mode. I was like, oh, the no build. Let me go ahead and try it. And I'm just not feeling it. I'm not a fan of battle royales in general. Because I don't like the pacing. It's like you wait in a freaking lobby and then you have to wait on a plane or a bus and then you land. It's like, oh, we're dropping, bro. And then like you get screwed. You can't find a weapon and you die if you're unlucky, and then you're freaking waiting again, and it's so slow paced. I need more action than that, man. I need more help me out, Sean. I need more adrenaline, whatever. This game sucks. I'm happy for Hodge that he likes it, but screw this game. Down with Fortnite. What do you think, Sean? Any thoughts?
It's funny you say you're tired of Fortnite. Try being surrounded by teenagers who are freaking obsessed with this game. You know what? It coincides with my teaching career as well because I started my first school year teaching was 2018, the 18-19 school year, and since then that's been the dominant aspect of my students. They all love Fortnite. They still talk about it. Try teaching try working with figurative language and specifically alliteration with teenagers who are obsessed with Fortnite because all their examples, oh, let's go to Loot Lake. Let's go to I don't even know, Twisty Towers, Soggy Sewers. I don't even know, but that's all they say. That's what they do when you're going over when you're going over figurative language. Anytime you do alliteration, we start throwing out these Fortnite names.
You just want to choke these kids and be like, sit down and play BioShock, you little shit. Play a good game.
I don't know. The amount of times I'd like be out in front of my classroom door and just monitoring the hall like between classes and just seeing kids like do Fortnite stuff, and I'm like, Jesus, like I had said the other day, like before Halloween, the kids got to dress up for Halloween. I saw like Fortnite costumes. So I was dressed up as the freaking bus you can jump out of. Pretty cool costume idea. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool, very unique. But yeah, Fortnite inspiration. People want V-Bucks like. One of the teacher I work with, she does like she's a special ed teacher. She has a very small group of kids. She does like a raffle for kids, and the winner of the raffle gets like a $20 gift card to whatever they want. Oh god, the last 16 kids who've won, going back to last year, have wanted V-Bucks.
Wow,
Hodge, we know you hate this game too. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I fucking hate Fortnite. Everyone who plays it should die. No, I disagree, but I don't disagree with some of the things you say. Like when it was the cultural phenomenon back in 2018, it did get annoying, but I didn't pay attention to it really because I'd get off work and my buddies would be like, all right, we're squadding up, let's go where we dropping kind of thing. And I mean, I don't think it's the best battle royale. I think that title belongs to Apex Legends. That game plays amazingly. I mean, it's way too sweaty for me now, so I don't play it anymore because the people who are playing it are the hardcores who are still playing. So because I used to win Apex Legends a lot, and then now I could never get close to finishing a round anymore. But with Fortnite, yeah, I mean, I also think like you said, we're going to do an episode about kind of live service games as a whole, but I think that it really ruined it at the point when they started getting licensed IP in the game, because that's when it just became, who can we put in Fortnite? It's literally a joke on the internet of something random will happen, like, oh, Rand Paul passed a legislation, and then there'll be a comment like, Rand Paul skin in Fortnite when, like, it's a joke of like people asking, when is this going to be in Fortnite? And so I understand. I'm not even going to I'm going to defend it in the fact that I think it's a very fun game and the gameplay is very good. Like, it's a very fluid game, but I understand why people don't like it. And obviously it is a very childish looking game, which is actually why I didn't want to play it. When it first came out, my brother was like, oh, we should try this Fortnite game. I'm like, that looks fucking terrible. And then I played it and I was completely wrong. It's a very fun game, but it's also a game where being older and everyone's busy and stuff, if you're lucky enough to find time to play games with your friends, it's a lot of fun just to squat up and it's just shoot the shit kind of game. I mean, that's what we're doing with Black Ops. You can have 6 people on a team now, so you can have 6 people instead of 4 playing. So I like it for that, but I understand the complaints about it, but I think it's a very fun game, and I like that it's always changing, so there's always something new, because if it was just one island forever, it would get boring and no one would like it. So I like that they're innovative about that, but yeah, there's plenty to dislike about Fortnite for sure.
Right on. And my brother likes Fortnite too, and I hate him for it. Like, he's older than me and he likes Fortnite. I'm like, dude, grow up. All right.
I mean,
Hodge,
you got a
what's
game.
your
I mean,
number
you got
2?
hang on 1 second. You got a game where you can run around as Peter Griffin fighting Spider-Man versus
Geralt,
Nicki Minaj. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, my number 2, my second game, this one, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go get back at you right now. Skyrim. I did not like this game. I did not find it fun. It was when I tried it on Xbox, I posted the videos where my cart was literally doing cartwheels as I'm getting shipped into the town, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then the cart got stuck in a corner, so the people couldn't go over to be executed or whatever, and I got stuck, so I had to restart the game. And then it did it again, and it was worse, but this time horses started just flying across the screen. And I was like, what the fuck is, like, I know these games are meant to be buggy. That's like the whole Bugfesta thing, like you said, but this is horrible. And then, so I switched over to PC on my ROG, and that's when it started playing a little better. It wasn't as janky. It had that, at that point, it was like the acceptable level of Bethesda jank, where it's like something just kind of, maybe someone T-poses really quickly or some shit like that. Like, it's going to just be the minimal jank, but it aged horribly. I think I did not find it fun. It's a cool world, don't get me wrong. Again, like I said, it takes a lot for me to get into a medieval kind of fantasy setting. It's not my favorite genre. Literally, Lord of the Rings is the only thing that I love that is that kind of setting. But yeah, so I couldn't get into it. I get it why people loved it at the time, even though, like I said, I thought the best game of that year was like Arkham City, or I think, did Portal come out that year? I can't remember, but, or Portal 2. But I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I thought like I thought I didn't think it was even the best game of that year. So yeah, Skyrim's, it's not for me. Sorry, people.
Okay. So I guess I'll go since Sean's coming up next. Yeah, you're wrong. Skyrim's awesome. I love this game. It's funny though that I did get a laugh at those bugs. You posted those videos, dude. That cart was going crazy. Like, what the hell is going on, dude? It looked like a rave,
so
like the horse rave.
So twitchy.
And it's so weird because I've played this game like 100 times. So you always see that, like, that's an iconic start. Like, oh, you're finally awake in the cart. And I've never seen it do that. So of course it would happen to you. But yeah, I mean, Bethesda games are always slightly buggy because of the scope. Like, it's always huge worlds with 1,000 objects that you can interact with and stuff. So it just goes off the script. But not usually to that level. I think you got a little unlucky there. But yeah, I mean, it is a game that shows its age for sure. I mean, it's 13 years old now. You have to be into RPGs and you have to be into like that fantasy setting, and you have to kind of immerse yourself. You have to be like, I am the Dragonborn. I'm going to go explore this cave and see what's in there. And if you're not in that headspace or you're not really feeling that, it's definitely not going to be for you. I will say, just a random aside, that Avowed looks incredible. I don't know if you saw Maddie's videos and other previews, but Avowed looks super sweet. And I think maybe that could be your in to like these style RPGs.
I loved Outer Worlds. Obsidian, of what I've played from them, they haven't missed. So I didn't watch any of the preview videos because I don't want to really overexpose myself to it. But I did see screenshots of it, and it looks beautiful. It looks so good. So I am excited, especially it's the whole, Game Pass thing. It's available for a free trial basically via Game Pass. So I'm definitely going to try it. I am excited for Avowed. Yeah. I'm hoping it's a more modern looking kind of Starfield, Skyrim, that I fall for it. But yeah, Skyrim itself, I couldn't fall for. It was just maybe 2011. If I tried it, I would have liked it more, but playing it this year, I was just like, I can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah, any listeners out there, real quick, if if you are kind of adjacently interested in Avowed, check out Mr. Matty Plays video that he did. He did a preview of it. There's no real spoilers, like it's just the start of the game. But the game looks way better than I ever thought it would. Like the zones look way bigger, the graphics look gorgeous, the combat looks fun, and he had a lot of really good things to say about it, and it got me genuinely excited. And Sean, sorry about that. What do you think about Skyrim? I think you might agree with him, huh?
Game blows. Hodge, you brought up Batman Arkham City. I'm gonna say this: Arkham City aged like a nice fine wine.
Oh, I don't doubt
Skyrim aged like milk.
Yeah.
You got those similes in there, huh? Got that similes in there? No, Skyrim is absolutely awful. I cannot believe that people thought this game was like the god's gift to Earth. It controls horrendous. Like it is so clunky and so like it feels awful to play. The writing is so bland. Like compared to Fallout, like Fallout's writing is like premiere. Skyrim, I was like reading, I'm like, this is so boring. This is horrendous. And I played it for like 4 or 5 hours and I was like, nope, can't do it. And this is someone who's like loves Bethesda games. And I played hours of Bethesda, like hours upon hundreds of hours of Bethesda games. And I've like encountered maybe 1 or 2 bugs in my entire playthroughs of Bethesda games. Skyrim, I had like 7 bugs in my 4 hours. 7, 8 bugs. I'm like, I don't know. I can't. I don't. I'm even going back to 2011. Like I cannot. I could see myself in 2011 playing this and being like playing Arkham City and then going playing that and being like, why is this so jank? Like it's so like I can't play a game like that. And I don't know. It's so bad to control. And playing New Vegas a year before, New Vegas came out in 2010 and that aged so well compared to Skyrim.
I still need to play that one. I've
Good.
heard nothing but good things about that one. We should definitely do an episode just on our controversial takes in general, because my controversial take about Bethesda, I love Fallout. I love that world, but Starfield's been my favorite Bethesda game I've ever played. I think that game plays very well. Because legit, the only thing I don't like about Starfield is the loading from planet to planet. It's the only thing I don't like about that game. I loved it. Other than that, I thought it was a great game, and it's overhated. Yeah. But yeah, it's my favorite Bethesda game, so that's controversial.
Of all my BGS Bethesda game, of all my Bethesda games that I've played, Starfield is my second to least favorite. Oh, Skyrim's at a level of its own, though. I do like Starfield, but Skyrim's on a level of its own. It's way down there. It's like I put it right there with The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I don't know if I go that far, but all right.
Oh no, I will.
Because
the Acolyte.
Maybe Acolyte, but no, because actually no, that's even worse. But no, because Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker made me want to kill myself. Skyrim I just didn't like.
You guys are crazy. Sean, what's your number 2, sir?
All right, my number 2 is... Hang on 1 second. I just got to do timestamp real quick. Got to do some math real quick. Sorry. My number 2 is... It's going to hurt some people, but it's League of Legends. This MOBA game here. MOBAs in general, I'm like kind of like, what the heck are these games? But the reason why I have this is because there was a group on my college track team, probably like 6 of them. They were absolutely obsessed with League of Legends, like to the point where like you'd go in their room and they'd have these intricate builds going, like their PCs. They'd have all these like, PCs set up, and they'd be always playing League. And like, I'm locked into League right now. I can't do anything. Like to the point they would skip practice sometimes to like play League of Legends. And like I'm like, guys, let's go do something. Or hey, you guys want to come play Smash Bros? Now we're playing League of Legends. Like that's all they did was they'd go to track practice, they'd go to track meets, they'd go to class, and they'd play League of Legends the entire time. And it got to the point where that's all they would talk about was League. Like, League, hey guys, League. And they're like, if you don't play League, you're not a real gamer. So I tried it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it and give it a fair shot. And I, like, did not understand what was going on. I think I'm a pretty savvy gamer myself. And I got on there and was like, whoa. This is, like, you guys think, some people think MMOs are, like, throwing all these or JRPGs are throwing all these different mechanics at you, go try to play League of Legends. That game is so confusing. There's like 9 million things going on the screen. Like you're like, what do I click? What do I do? And everyone's like clicking everything wicked fast, and it's like I have no idea what's going on. Oh, I'm using this hero or this. I don't even know what they're called in League of Legends, but League of Legends I absolutely cannot stand, and the people who play it, I'm not. I know this is an overgeneralization, but like I always find that the people who play League of Legends are the ones who are like, I'm a real gamer. I play League of Legends, or you're not real. You don't play League. Or I'm so
You're
much
a
better
casual.
than you. Yeah. Like I just can't. I can't do League of Legends.
I will say before we get to midnight, because I think you're next, right? Yeah, I should have put this in the what we're playing because it's kind of a gaming thing, but I've been rewatching Arcane. I just rewatched the first season. I'm getting into the second season now. That show is so much better than it deserves to be because it is based off such a shitty IP. Because League of Legends, I agree, it's fucking horrible. Even my younger brother plays it, and even he's like, this game sucks. I don't know why I play it. And it's so I'm just like, but the show is so fucking good that I'm like, how is this based off League of Legends? Because that game is so dumb, but this show is a masterpiece. And so I just find that funny of the complete contrast between the game versus show. But yeah, I agree with you. League of Legends sucks.
I also agree. League of Legends does suck. I don't want to be clicking like click, click, click. You hear that? This is League of Legends. Yep. Yeah. Freaking losers. Get a life. Get a life, all right? Play some real games, all right? No, but if you want to play a MOBA, play Smite. All right, Smite's fun. No. That's an actual third-person action MOBA where you can use a controller or a WASD to move around like a normal human. And then you can cast WASD. Abilities. Yeah, West. But yeah, no, that game sucks. Nobody likes that game. Actually, tons of people like that game. It's super popular. But we don't like that game. So, all right, I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, we're not going into mine yet, but you've inspired me to change my number one. Now I know what my number one is going to be. So you go, and then we'll get to me after.
Wow, okay. All right, well, Hodge, my number one.
Hang on, wait. Hodge, I'm going to message you on Discord. I'm going to guess it, okay?
Okay.
All right. It better not be Smite. Like, what the hell? All right, that game's not even popular enough. All right.
Yeah,
so anyway.
It's not popular enough to hate.
It's not. So, all right. So my number one is a game that came out this year that a lot of people really love this game. And I thought that this was going to be an incredible game. I thought it might be a Game of the Year nominee. This game sucks. And I'm talking about Dragon's Dogma 2. I wanted to like this game so much. I'm like, this is a midnight game, open world, RPG, fun combat. This game was so mid and so trash. First of all, shout out to GJ from the Discord. We love him. He gifted me the game on Steam. I appreciate it. I wanted to like this game so bad, especially because he gifted it to me. I didn't want to drop it. I put like 25 plus hours into the game. I tried so hard to like it. The story is super mid. The combat is very annoying because it's just the same enemies over and over. You can't freaking fast travel. They're like, it's immersive. You have to walk or ride a cart. I'm like, dude, it's 2024. All right, get a life. This is lame. And also, I had quite a few glitches. One glitch, like they gave me a quest off the start of the game. They're like, go do this. And I come to find out after dying like 30 times that this was not a quest that you were supposed to do until much later in the game when you were much higher level. And there was no indication of that. And they gave it to me right near the start, like in the first town you get to, the first big town. I'm like, what a stupid game. I had a glitch when I got to the second or third city where like I had to go talk to a dude in a prison and like he just kept repeating the same line from before. He's like, I'm still working on it. Come back. And I would go sleep and I would sleep and I would sleep and I would sleep and I'd come back and he'd be like, I'm working on it. Come back. And then I'd go do like a quest or two and I'd come back. He's like, I'm working on it. Come back. Like the game completely glitched. I'm like, this game is terrible. And they got the pawns. I thought the pawns would be really cool because it's like, oh, I can use Hodge's character. It's Hodge in the game. And he's going to point out that there's a chest over there. But you know what the pawns really are? They're companions that have no story and no interesting shit at all because they have literally no story. They just have one-line quips. It's like a Marvel movie. This game sucks. If you like Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm happy for you, but the game is trash. That's my pick. Number 1, Dragon's Dogma 2. Play some real RPGs, kids. All right. What say you, Sean? Anything?
I just want to say I was really happy that you had dropped this because I had told you you kept bringing up in our conversations how much you weren't enjoying it, but I'm like, why don't you just drop it? Why don't you play something you like? Why don't you? No, I'm 20. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. And then after like 3 weeks, you were finally like, yeah, I'm good. So I was like really happy that you dropped it because you were visibly not having fun, and you could like see it on your face when you talk about the game, how upset and boring you were, how bored you were. So I'm happy that you dropped it.
That's funny.
Hodge, do you have
Yeah.
any thoughts on that? And then get in your number
No,
1, sir.
I remember watching a trailer for it, and I didn't know what the game was because it hadn't shown the title card, and I've never been into these games. And I remember thinking it looked kind of cool, but when I saw the name, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna play it. But yeah, it's definitely not a genre of game that I play. But my number 1. So this was I actually had 3 different things I was trying to think of, but I was at first going to go with Metal Gear Solid just because I've tried the first one so many times and I can't do it because the controls are bad. But I decided I'd skip that one because I do actually want to play those again because it's not really the game itself. It's just how poorly it's aged. And then I was going to do you made me think RTSs when you were talking about MOBAs, and I was like, I'm not huge on those, but I'm actually going to go with something me and Sean actually DM'd me because I didn't think about it. It's World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, those fucking MMOs, because they have always looked like shit to me. I don't think they look any good. All the graphics always suck, and just the constant you're just grinding for just it's just a live service you're always in doing stupid shit that doesn't matter, and I don't like that kind of gameplay. I just don't think it looks fun. I don't think it looks good. I played World of Warcraft it's briefly once, and I was like, this is horrible. Why do people like this, and why have nerds put like thousands of days of playtime into these games? I don't get it. They don't look fun. I don't see where the addiction can form. Like a Fortnite or a battle royale, I could see where the addiction forms because when you lose, you want to get back and fucking try and win again. But in MMOs, I don't see where it's pulling you in constantly. So I don't know. Maybe it's just like my brother was also obsessed with RuneScape when he was a kid. He was obsessed with that little weird internet game, and I just every time I'd see him playing, I'm like, that doesn't look fun. Why are you playing this? So I've never understood that. So MMOs in general, but World of Warcraft obviously is the main one. And then he was also obsessed with Guild Wars, which is the other one I was thinking of. But yeah, the MMO, I don't get it. I don't get why people like it.
Okay. I mean, interesting pick. I am an MMO fan in the past, especially. I played a lot of MMOs. I played some World of Warcraft. It was fun. My favorite MMOs, though, were more of like the PvP, the player versus player ones. Like I've talked about Asheron's Call and Shadowbane and Dark Age of Camelot. These really old, because I'm old, games where a lot of the focus was on like player guilds and fighting and killing other players and looting their stuff, and the politics that arrive from that. Like in Asheron's Call, like guilds would form and go to war with other guilds, and like you would control like dungeons. There were dungeons where you could use to like level up and get resources, and a guild would actually like claim a dungeon, and they would be like theirs, and the other guilds would raid the dungeon and like kill all the people in it, and like it was just awesome. But I respect that. I respect it. It's not for everyone. Sean, what say you about WoW? And then you got your number 1.
Well, I did message Hodge that I said World of Warcraft. That was my guess. Yeah, my friends were so into like RuneScape and World of Warcraft like growing up, and like I never played those games, and I was like, ugh, like I had no interest in them at all. The only MMO I ever played was Toontown. Played Toontown online because I loved it. Yeah, I was like 6 years old, 7 years old. It was like 2002, 2003. I was playing Toontown, running around. That was so much fun because you fought these cogs. You fought these like robot. They were called cogs, and you had to like infiltrate like these buildings. And the combat was cool. It was like throwing pies at people, squirting them with water, basically playing pranks on them. I loved it, and it was like mini games. But yeah, that's the only MMO I ever played. Shout out to I think it was like Dory 12 something something 07XX. That was my buddy I met on there, and then I never talked to him again.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I'll just say that I've never played RuneScape either, and I don't understand why people like that game because it looks like shit. I'm old.
Mm.
That game looks so crappy and old to me. I'm like, I don't get it. But anyway,
Yeah, I
continue,
think it was
Sean.
because it was free. So it probably because didn't you have to pay monthly for World of Warcraft?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why. It was just the free option back in the day when there weren't many options. So that's probably it. But I will say quickly before we move on, World of Warcraft did provide us with one of the greatest South Park episodes of all time,
Oh
and
yeah.
two, just the greatest internet, like the beginning of internet memes of Leroy Jenkins.
So good.
So
So
I
good.
will give it its props for that.
Take it away, Sean.
All right, my number one is the Assassin's Creed series. I don't like these games. I think they're awful. I think they play horrendously. I think
Mm-mm.
they feel so clunky to play. Like I'm like I want to do this, and I'm like, oh, I know I'm hopping into this haystack. I'm hopping into the bushes, trying to run around, trying to scale the world. I'm like, can I actually scale that building if I try? Like, what buttons do I have to press? Like, and I have to run around. I think the story is horrendous. Like, it's all complicated. I know they took out some of like the I don't even know what's it called, Abstergo or what's the
Abstergo,
place
yeah.
called?
Abstergo or whatever.
Abstergo. I know they took out like the real world stuff, and then I heard they're like trying to go back to it. Don't even get me started on the movie. The movie was like 75% in the real world, not even like in the game world. Like I don't know. These games I tried and they feel so bad to play. And like Assassin's Creed 3 had such a cool setting that like American Revolution, like, oh, this is gonna be the one that drags me in. And I'm like, no. And some of my friends were so into these games that like that's all they did. And which one had like the online, like the Assassin's Creed online
Was
aspect?
that Unity?
Two.
Oh,
Oh,
two
oh
did.
I
yeah,
don't even know.
co-op. Unity had co-op. Yeah,
Are you talking
No,
about?
it
Yeah.
was the one where you could go around and like you'd like hunt people.
Oh, that was
that was
two. Yeah,
two.
yeah, that was two.
Yeah.
I thought you were
It's
talking about
all
the
my
online
friends wanted to
co-op.
do. All of my friends wanted to do was that, and they love that Brotherhood game. They did the same thing, but then like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I tried to play them, and they felt so bad, and the story was so convoluted. I'm like, it was just so I couldn't stand them. I can't, and I know everyone's like, oh, Black Flag, God Skipped Earth, the greatest C game ever. Yeah, well, go play Skull and Bones if it was that good.
Okay. You didn't like any of them? Did you try Origins? Origins, like the first RPG
I'm
one.
done. I'm done. I'm not trying them. There goes the ambulance agrees with me outside.
Taking them away, huh? Taking them to jail.
Yeah.
What do you think, Hodge? You got any Assassin's Creed experience or takes?
I'm gonna. It's another one where I agree, but I also disagree. So when the first one was announced, I watched that reveal, the trailer, like almost daily. I know, not the trailer one where it's like the going up, then he jumps up in the sky to assassinate the guy. Not that one. It was like a gameplay trailer, and it shows like she's walking you through, and he's like going through the crowd, and you can see him like kind of grabbing people by the shoulder to nudge by and all that kind of shit, and then all of a sudden he gets up to a wall and just climbs the wall because that had never been done in a video game before, and I was blown away by just how open this world was. Then the first one did end up being a little bit of a disappointment, but 2 and Brotherhood I love, so I'm going to completely disagree with you there, but I understand at the same time that was back when all the missions were very samey. It was basically go sit on this bench and wait for the person to walk by and then get up and then go stand in this crowd so they don't notice that you're standing there. Like it did have a pretty bad stealth. The main I liked Abstergo part in the first game, but as the games went on, it got worse and worse. Because in the first one, it's just you're a guy who's captured and they're trying to get in your brain. You don't know why. And then you find out it's because this magic orb, blah, blah, blah bullshit. And so it was kind of cool, the reveal that Abstergo was the Templars, spoiler alert, but I don't care. So I liked it. But then, yeah, by the time they got to 3, I was so excited for a Revolutionary War Assassin's Creed. I thought that was such a cool setting. And then it ended up kind of sucking. And then 4, I disagree. 4 is an amazing game. I really love that game. And same with Origins. I loved Origins. Odyssey, I fell off just because I had just completed Origins, so I couldn't go back to back open worlds, so I didn't play it. And then Valhalla, hearing that it was like a million hours long, I didn't even bother. So I fell off of the Assassin's Creed. So I agree in the sense that the games did kind of get samey and boring a little bit. They overstay their welcome in most of them. Most of them are way too long for what they should be, which is why it was kind of cool when Mirage came out, but I didn't bother playing it because I'm kind of over it. But I agree with not loving it, but I definitely don't hate Assassin's Creed. I think it was a good. The movie wasn't amazing. I like it more than other people do, but I do think it's a bad movie. But I think it's a fun bad movie, not just a terrible bad movie. So I'm a little softer on this series. I'm kind of intrigued as to what Shadows will do, but I agree with it, especially when it was an annual release. It should have never been an annual fucking game. I agree, but disagree at the same time. Is the long-winded way of saying that.
Right on. I completely disagree. Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite series. I love them. Assassin's Creed 1 was trash. It was a cool proof of concept, but it was really repetitive and lame. 2, best in the series. Phenomenal. Ezio Auditore. Amazing character. So good. Great story. And I love the little mini game where you have to manage and build up that little town, Hodge. That was fun, too.
Yeah,
it was just awesome.
Yeah, I don't like the survival game kind of thing where you build up towns, but when it's just kind of you're getting it so you can get more equipment and stuff, where you're kind of up, it's more of an upgrade rather than you're not actually sitting there building the city. I hate that kind of shit. But when it's, you're just kind of you have the ability to open this weapon shop or so. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It wasn't super deep, but it was fun, and it gave you gameplay rewards out of it, so it was nice.
Yeah.
That game was awesome. What?
I'll never forget Christmas 2007. All my friends opening up their Assassin's Creed for Christmas, and me getting Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers in Time, freaking out about it and loving that game while everyone else was playing their Assassin's Creed game.
And that is the moment where it all went wrong. Sean turned into a huge weeb, and but anyways, Assassin's Creed's awesome. 3, I really did like 3 because I'm a huge history and Revolutionary War fan. The setting's incredible. I do agree that is probably one of the most obtuse games because instead of having like big cities to scale, like they got you climbing in trees and stuff. So I can see how Sean, that might be a little bit awkward to get into. Probably not the best first impression, but good game. 4, I believe they're remaking this. So maybe when they come out with the remake, you guys will give it a shot. Who knows?
Well, I loved 4. So Sean would have to give it a shot.
I think a big reason why I never got into the Assassin's Creed games though is because like that time frame, that 2007 to like 2014, 2015, I was so like much like I'm only playing JRPGs and 2D and 3D platformers type of guy. Like it was very rare for me to go away from like JRPGs or platformers. Like it was so rare for me to do that. You had the occasional games that I like, the GTAs that I would want to play, but it was so hard for me to not play those type of games because that's what I like to do.
Yeah. So two final things. Also, I will give a shout out to one of my favorite games of all time, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That game is so beautiful and so fun. I love the white sand beaches, the turquoise water, sailing around Greece, giant statues of Poseidon and Zeus, and just the setting, the Sparta versus Athens. It's super cool, dude. So fun, lighting swords on fire and cutting people up with it. Hodge, you look like you want to come in there.
Oh, I just saying, I really need to get back to Odyssey because I did like it. It's just I was so burnt out on open world that I fell off of it. But I do want to go back to that one because I wanted to love Valhalla, but when I heard how long it was, I'm like, I can't because the Norse setting looks so cool. But hearing how long it was, I'm like, I can't do it. I just can't.
It's very long. And it's funny, actually, I watched the review from Shill Up, and he was like, boring, bloated, and endless was his title or whatever. And that actually, that expectation going into the game, knowing that it was going to be super long and repetitive, made me enjoy the game more. But anyways, go. Okay, so just one final thing, and then we'll wrap it up here. Sean, if they do remake Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and if it comes out and it's remade and it's good, will you play it? Will you try it?
Depends.
You don't have to.
Depends what else comes out around that time.
All right. You heard it here first. He will play it. It's official. All right.
Just kidding. Okay.
All right,
Plus
guys.
500.
Let's go ahead and wrap things up, guys. I think this has been a fantastic episode, as they always are. We always do a great job, pat ourselves on the back. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Final thoughts for episode number 22. And let's start with you, Sean. What are your final thoughts, sir?
Yeah, a lot of interesting takes we got here. We got some GTA hate, we got some FromSoft hate, we got a lot of online gaming hate with our Fortnite, our League of Legends, and our World of Warcraft. I think we're gonna this video might piss some people off.
Oh damn it! I just thought of one that I should have done. Oh well, doesn't matter.
I mean, if you want a real quick honorable mention it, go ahead.
The Pokemon series, they've gotten worse every time. So that one.
You love Pokemon though.
I do love Pokemon, but the games are ever since Shield, they've sucked. So
ever since Shield, you mean ever since Sun?
I never played Sun. I liked Ultra Moon actually.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Ugh.
All right,
but it was the first one I'd played since Silver, so that's why I hadn't.
It's like eating candy corn.
My final thoughts are that Skyrim is awesome, Assassin's Creed is awesome, Fortnite sucks, and Dragon's Dogma sucks. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for tuning in. We definitely appreciate you. Hodge, your final thoughts, sir, before we get up out of here.
Yeah, I know we definitely like doing the positivity. We made this podcast so we could talk about games we love rather than do console wars, but it is fun just kind of having a talk about like, here's why I think this is a little overrated. And like, I don't like, so it's not really a negative topic as much as it is just interesting to kind of explore different opinions rather than just we definitely don't want to be video game shows where everything's amazing and nothing sucks. So, so it's nice to have honest conversations about why we don't like certain things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. This has been Games Over Plastic, episode number 22. Hope you all have a great day. We're going to go ahead and get on out of here. Goodbye.
Bye.
That conversation around GTA was a drunken moment with no alcohol involved. I will now erase that out of my memory.